Hi everyone, I am Teacher Ray from Home Educator Specialist. In this video, I'll be going through some notable past year's PSLE science questions with you. As we go through the questions, I'll also touch on some of the theories from the topic so that we could also do our revision at the same time. So let us begin. The first question that I've chosen is from the topic cells. The diagram below shows a plant cell. 4 pupils made the following statements about a plant cell. So we have a picture of a plant cell, which is not labeled, by the way. And instead, they've given us A, B, C, and D. And the question is we have to choose which of the pupils made a correct statement. So N says that part A makes food. Let's take a look at part A. What is part A called? Is the chloroplast. So yes, N got it right. Part A is the chloroplast and it makes food. It also contains chlorophyll, which is the green pigment that traps sunlight to make food. Okay, it gives the leaves, the plant, its green color. Now let's take a look at Ben. Ben says that part B supports and gives the cell its shape. What is part B? Okay, part B is showing here. There's a cell wall. So is Ben correct? Yes. Part B supports and gives the cell its shape. Chris says that part C controls all activities of the cell. What is part C? Part C is the nucleus. So what's the function of the nucleus? It is to control all activities of the cell, and it also contains genetic information. So Chris got the statement right. Lastly, let's take a look at Don. Don says that part D controls the movement of substances in and out of the cell. Let's take a look at part D. D over here is showing the cytoplasm. So what is the cytoplasm? The cytoplasm is the jelly-like substance that fills the cell. So does it control the movement of substances in and out of the cell? No. So Don got it wrong. So this function actually is for cell membrane. And where is the cell membrane? It is located here. This part here is the cell membrane. And what is D? As I said just now, is cytoplasm. It's a jelly-like substance that fills the cell. With all the different parts, we have the chloroplast, cell wall, nucleus, cell membrane, cytoplasm. One of the part that is missing is the vacuole, and it stores the food, water, and waste products. That's the function. Basically, for a plant cell, there's 6 parts altogether. Now, let's go back to the question. Which pupils were correct? Which statement? So it is N, Ben, and Chris. And Don is wrong. So the answer will be number 3. Right, let's go to the next question. The next question is an experiment question where Kim cut a root into pieces of the same size. She placed each piece into a glass tube. Each tube was kept at a different temperature. So there's 3 different glass tubes with water of different temperature. The first one is 5 degrees. The second one is 20 degrees, and the third one is 40 degrees. In each of these glass tubes, there's a plant root. The root cells contain a red substance. Let's highlight this piece of information. Sometime, she observed that the color of the water in the tubes, and the table shows her result. At 5 degrees Celsius, the water is light pink. At 20 degrees Celsius, the water is pink, and 40 degrees Celsius, the water is dark pink. So the question is asking which of the following correctly shows her observation. So the first row here we have is about the temperature change, whether it increase or decrease. And the second row here is about the effect on the root cells. The effect is on the cell wall or the cell membrane. We know that the function of the cell wall is to support and give the cell its shape. And the function of the cell membrane is to control the movement of substances in and out of the cell. Does cell wall controls movement of any substances? No. The cell part that controls the movement that acts as a barrier is the cell membrane. Let's go back to the question. Does cell wall prevent any substance from moving out? No. In fact, it allows all substances to pass through. By knowing this piece of information, we can deduce that number 1 and 2 is out. Okay? Now, what is left is whether the temperature increase or decrease, because we know that the effect is on the cell membrane part of the root cell. This is what we know. So we just need to take a look at the temperature change. Now let's go back to this table. The temperature is low, the color is also light. But as the temperature gets higher, the color of the water becomes darker. So what can we deduce? When the temperature increases, the color of the water becomes darker. That is the relationship. If they're asking you for the relationship between the temperature of the water and the color of the water, you can say when the temperature increases, the color of the water becomes darker. Going back to the question, so what happens? Is it when the temperature increase or decrease? It's when the temperature increase. That is when the cell membrane allow more red substance to move out the water, causing the water to change color. So the answer is number 4. We know the 2 options is wrong. The cell wall, it allows all substance to pass through. It is the cell membrane that acts as a barrier and it controls whether the substance can move in and out. Basically, the cell wall is the outer layer, followed by the cell membrane. All right, this is the cell wall and this is the cell membrane. So all substances can pass through the cell wall. And once it comes to the cell membrane is the one that decides whether you want to allow the substance to enter the cell or not. Same, the cell membrane is the one that enables substance to leave the cell or to remain inside the cell. Since this MCQ question is talking about root cells is a bit more unique than a regular plant cell. Why? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so we have here a picture of a root hair cell. So what is the function of the root hair cell? Basically, the root hair cell is located in the roots of the plants. Okay, that is obvious. It is underground. Okay, it's located inside the soil. The function is it helps to absorb water and mineral salts from the soil. So it has a larger surface area so that it can absorb more water and mineral salts. So usually a regular plant cell is of rectangular shape, but a root hair cell will have this extra part over here to increase the surface area. So if it's only a rectangular shape, right, this is the surface area that it has to absorb water and mineral salts from the soil. If it has this extra part over here, it increases the surface area. So not only can it absorb water and mineral salts from this part, it can also absorb water and mineral salts from this part as well. So thereby increasing the amount of water and mineral salts being absorbed from the soil. Another thing about the root hair cell is that it does not have chloroplast. It has been adapted to not have chloroplast. Why? Because since it is located underground, it is located in the soil, it does not see the light of the day. It is not exposed to sunlight. It does not have access to light energy, light source for it to photosynthesize. And it has other function. The function is not to conduct photosynthesis. So it has been adapted to not have chloroplast. It has all the other parts. Okay, it has cytoplasm, cell wall, nucleus, vacuole, cell membrane. It's just that it does not have chloroplast. So a regular plant cell has 6 parts that you have to remember the characteristic and the function. But a root hair cell only has 5. I would also like to show a picture of an onion cell, because an onion cell is also the same as a root hair cell, where is a plant cell as well, but it does not have chloroplast because the onion does not conduct photosynthesis. So it has been adapted not to have this particular cell part.
We have come to the end of the video. Thank you for joining us today. Do subscribe to our channel and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!